guys, what's going on? So today we're going to talk about a movie again. Today we're talking about the 1982 movie Some Kind of Hero, starring Richard Pryor, Ronnie Cox, and Margot Kidder. It's a great movie. It doesn't get a lot of love. It's been out for a long time. It's kind of hard to find. It's not one of the bigger titles in Richard Pryor's catalog. It's one of the ones where he was trying to sort of do a serious acting thing with some sort of black comedy in it. Not the normal, very funny sort of slapstick, off-the-wall stuff that he did. In the movie, Richard Pryor plays a soldier in Vietnam, and I think it's like his second day in Vietnam. They're out on patrol. There's a big attack, things go bad, and he gets taken prisoner. He's a prisoner of war, and he's a prisoner of war in a Vietnamese prison camp for like 5 or 6 years, a long time. And he sort of survives and it thrives through the prison camp, and the way he does this is just through his own sense of black humor. He's able to take the horror that he experiences and make a joke out of it, and that's how he survives and gets through. Eventually he gets a cellmate, another American soldier that's taken hostage, and they get to be good friends because of course they're in this together finally, and he has someone to experience things with, not by himself. First part of the movie, it's like he just has a pet rat that he talks to and feeds pieces of cheese and says sarcastic things to. Again, this is a sort of very dark, weird movie because it's a war movie. It's like a prisoner of war Vietnam movie. You know, it's the deer hunter prison camp scenes, missing in action prison camp scenes, but it's Richard Pryor, so you're very thrown off the wall from it. It's different, and much like a lot of other Vietnam prison camp movies, they're always trying to get Richard Pryor to sign a confession, saying that he's a war criminal and that what the United States did was illegal and immoral and that they bombed North Vietnam and killed civilians and things like that. But eventually, I'm not trying to go into spoiler territory here, his cellmate gets really sick, and the only way they're going to take care of his cellmate is if Richard Pryor signs the papers. So of course he does it. I mean, he signs the paper. He doesn't believe what he's signing, but he does it just so his friend can get medical service and try and survive having malaria or fever or some sort of jungle sickness that he gets from being exposed in the heat and the nastiness of Vietnam. And then, you know, time goes on, the war ends and the prisoners get freed, and Richard Pryor goes home. He's been gone for like 6 years at this point. Everyone thought he was dead because he was just missing in action. And he gets back to America and things are just sort of awful for him. His wife has moved on and married another man. He finds out he has a 6-year-old daughter. He goes to visit his daughter for the first time and he's getting ready to knock on the door. And he hears the daughter through the door calling the wife's boyfriend daddy. The army doesn't want to pay him his back pay because he signed the confession papers. And they're saying he might get in trouble for doing that, when all he was trying to do was help his friend survive. It's just a mess. It's like everything that can go wrong for this guy goes wrong. His mom is really sick and in a nursing home because she had a stroke while he was gone. Basically, he comes back and his whole world is just awful and destroyed. He doesn't have any money. He's trying to get his mom taken care of. And so he starts kind of thinking about doing some crime. He tries to rob a bank with a water gun. And he's in the bank and he tells the lady at the bank teller, he's like, look at this. And he points at the gun in his pocket and his waistband. But the water gun started leaking, so it looks like he peed his pants, and the woman's like, that is disgusting. Eventually, he meets Margot Kidder, who plays a prostitute. He starts falling in love with her. She kind of makes him feel at home, and they start a relationship together. She's trying to talk him not into doing a life of crime. She's trying to pull him back and make him feel like he's part of the world again. But he just can't make it work. He's always fighting with her, because he's just got a lot of built-up depression, feeling bad about himself. Life is real hard for the guy. Ronnie Cox plays basically his army liaison, who's trying to help him adjust to the world and all the changes. He becomes friends with Ronnie Cox, even though the army is sort of hurting him in the long run and causing some of the pain he's going through. Long story short, things build and build and build to the big climax where he does try to commit a robbery. You know, I'm not going to tell you all of everything that happens there. It's not the kind of thing you expect from Richard Pryor. You know, I grew up watching Richard Pryor movies, things like The Toy, Moving, See No Evil, Hear No Evil, things like that. He did a few dramas in his day. My very favorite movie that he's ever made was Blue Collar. It's a movie starring him and Harvey Keitel and Yaphet Kotto. God, I hope I said that right. Directed by Paul Schrader, who wrote Taxi Driver. It's about a bunch of guys working in the auto industry in Detroit who also, because their life was horrible, decided to commit a robbery. Maybe that was a thing that Richard Pryor was doing. Guys who have bad lives and decide to commit a robbery. I don't know. Some Kind of Hero was directed by a guy named Michael Pressman. I've not seen a lot of stuff that he's done. He's not a name that rings a bell with me right away. He made Dr. Detroit with Dan Aykroyd, which is another very, very good movie. We might do a review of that sometime soon. And then he also directed Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze. That's right. This movie about Richard Pryor as a disgruntled Vietnam vet trying to make his way in society was directed by the same guy who made Ninja Rap. Like I said, it stars Richard Pryor. He was in a slew of good movies. If you don't like Richard Pryor, a Richard Pryor movie, you don't understand comedy. Ronnie Cox was in all kinds of stuff. Most people know him best as the bad guy from Total Recall, but he was in a million other movies. He basically was the bad guy in every movie. And this guy, he plays a good guy. But most of the time, he's your corrupt cop, your corrupt politician, the bad guy at the top, sort of behind everything. Margot Kidder was in the Superman movies, Black Christmas. She's been in everything. She was even in one of Rob Zombie's Halloween movies. She pops up in a lot of stuff. This movie is interesting because Some Kind of Hero was the movie that Richard Pryor and Margot Kidder made right before Superman 3, before they were in Superman 3 together. Like I said, I can't recommend this movie enough. I really enjoy Richard Pryor. I love a good war movie. I love a good black comedy. This kind of crams them all together into one. You can't go wrong with this one. It's right now streaming on Amazon Prime. I don't know how long that's going to be for. I don't know if I should be mentioning that in reviews. But if you got time, you should get on Amazon and check it out. You won't be sorry. Thank you so much for watching. Do you guys have any ideas? What's a movie I should try and review? What's a great 80s movie, a great 90s movie? Something that people need to know more about. Give me some hints down below. Have you seen this movie? Do you like it? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much.